So, like, does anyone upscale from this? What's up, guys? I'm Hunter, and here we are to do a breakdown and review for chapter 422 of My Hero Academia, which is known as Izuku Midoriya Rising. And dare I say this chapter, it's simple and clean. Well, it's simple. Clean? That's a question for later. But would that be the case, this chapter is a real. This chapter, like, honestly, I'm going to say it verbatim. I'm not sure what next chapter is going to be. You could legit call this chapter My Hero Academia. Like this is the culmination of the story. Wholeheartedly. Like, I'm not sure what next chapter is going to be. Maybe it's going to be another dive into... You know what? We have so much to talk about. So little time. Let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it. Enemy, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact. Yeah. I'm not kidding. This chapter is legit just My Hero Academia. Like the story, like legitimately the story of My Hero Academia is this chapter, because it really is the culmination of everything. It's why it's called Izuku Midoriya Rising, presumably, because it calls back all the way back to the beginning of the story with All Might and his quotes and talking about his original motivation for giving Midoriya all for one giving Midoriya one for all in the first place. It tackles all for one, even realizing the true strength of Midoriya and that strength in his weakness, and the weakness born of that strength, and by vice versa, the strength born of that weakness, and the connections Midoriya has made. And of course, literally almost everyone gets a moment. The only characters who do not get a moment, or at least like a drop in this chapter, is Bakugo. But once again, he's legitimately knocked out. Most we would see him as like cheesing while being crashed out on the ground. Bro's extremely fatigued, so I get why he doesn't get a drop this chapter, but legitimately this chapter has everything else. It has Aoyama and his little final handoff to Midoriya. We get the confirmation that Shirakumo / Kurogiri is pretty much done, which I think is fine. I think he ended up serving his narrative role. Same thing with Eri. Like, Eri, she does end up getting a drop later on this chapter. Where is it? Where are you? Don't hide from me! But it's on the Do Your Best bit. Yeah, she ends up getting a drop this chapter. I think Eri and Kurogiri end up serving the same roles. They're characters who mainly exist for their quirk function, and their backward story function is nice too. I feel like Eri has a more complete backward story function. Well, no, a backwards character function relative to her story function. I think her character got a lot more respect and like time in the actual manga dedicated to it than Kurogiri did. But hey, I'm fine. We're wrapping up Kurogiri. We don't really need anything out of him anymore. So his loss is more so like, oh no, Aizawa's sad because friend gone, but friend been gone, and we don't know friend whack. So I'm glad Kurogiri's done. We won't be getting anyone else coming to the battlefield. That's fine by me. Another thing, we do get to see that ultimately All For One has just like fully turned into quirk nonsense. Like, he's a straight conglomerate of multiple things now, kind of just doing things for things' sake, which is fine. But other characters who sort of get spotlighted this chapter, Cementos is that girl from 1B, like, everyone shows up in this chapter. And I think this does lead to an issue that the chapter has, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. The things that I do like this chapter in terms of like the major calls I like, Hagakure, this has been a shockingly controversial character for a character who, for I'd say about 80%, maybe not 80, because the final war has been going on for a minute now. Like, golly, we've been here for a hot second. But maybe for like the back 75% of the narrative, for a character who was basically literally non-existent, as in Hori didn't even have to draw them, they are getting infinitely more spotlight and infinitely more controversy. Everyone still remembers that page that came out way back when that Hori decided to do, which is so weird. I'm not giving Hori a pass on that. He's not as weird as Nakaba is from time to time, but or he's a freaky guy. And with that being the case, her getting another Lightspeed feat, like, hey, I know, I joked about scaling in the intro. Let me joke about scaling again. I don't think Lightspeed MHA is a joke no more. Yo, like, this is just a laser. And, like, she jumps in the way and redirects it away from Midoriya. So if Hagakure can do that, how fast you think Midoriya is? Come on now, let's run some mathematics. Let's run some calcs real quick. I think, obviously, you know, Hagakure, if she has these relativistic reactions, I'm pretty sure Midoriya is a few ways in the light speed, y'all. Another funny little reference. Gee, what is Momo? What does her family do for money? Was that ever confirmed? Because low-key, I'm fully diving into the fact that she's related to Overhaul. Because where did she learn how to make this? Remember, she needs to understand her creations down to a cellular, subatomic, whatever level to reproduce them from her fat cells. One, how many fat cells did she have to make an entire Spagooter of this size? But also, this isn't the first crazy thing she's made. She made that illegal sleeping juice, too. How? I don't... She had, like, a whole weird restraining device built in. Like, Momo, what kind of freaky stuff? What is your search history? What is in there, young lady? What kind of freaky deaky stuff you be looking up? And where do you be finding it? I don't know. That's crazy. But with it being the case, obviously All For One negs it because All For One's gonna neg it. I do find this whole interaction, I know I should find it, like, impressive, but I also just find it funny. This callback to Asui and Shoji and the respective people they've had impact on. Obviously, we get a nice little callback to Asui's family, which is sweet, and seeing them cheering her on. And also, this is the girl that Shoji saved during the mutant raid. I still think that's handled weird by Hori. Another thing that I was initially praising Hori for, but, like, after thinking about it for 2 seconds and also talking to people about it, yeah, that was a really, really, really bad way. But once again, Hori's just not that worldly. I've come to realize that with a lot of what Hori does. He's just... I love him. He literally made Endeavor. Favorite thing in New Gen. But still, Hori, darn. But with that being the case, this is a nice little callback to the two of them. Kirishima and Mina, also this other guy, I don't know, is this meant to be a third person or am I literally insane? I know this is Kirishima, I know this is Mina. Once again, we'll talk about the issue that I'm going to get into here in a little bit. But... these two working together is very, very sweet, kind of wraps up them. We get to see their middle school people. Once again, the reason I say this story, this chapter is My Hero Academia, is because everybody gets their wrap-up. Everyone who ever had a callback or the characters tied to them or anything else, they get their references here. They get their good shmoney. We see Mineta, who got knocked down by something, I guess. We see Jiro lunging in. We even see... what? The Death Arms. Once again, isn't even fighting anybody. He's just standing around. Do I keep holding back? We got my boy Gentle. My goat! Once again, he kind of starts the whole do your best train. Does he start it? No, he doesn't start. But still, he continues to do your best train. My wonderful goat Gentle. We get Death Arms here. Heck, we even get Ida. We get Ida here, who's pulling on Midoriya, dragging him towards the future, holding his hand, and pulling him onward. And it's just nice. Heck, once again, all aspects of My Hero Academia get referenced here. With Kudahira and Aizawa, you get references to Vigilantes, even though I still haven't properly read that, and I bet a majority of the MHA fanbase has it. We have the callbacks to the 3 movies. At least I think this is meant to be the kids from the second movie. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the second movie since it came out in theaters. And that was years ago at this point. But I think this is literally the trio of movies, from Melissa, Shield from the first movie, to the kids from the second movie, and I think their dad, to... I never saw the third movie. The World Mission, whatever it was. Never saw it. But this guy's from that too. And it's just seeing all these different aspects referenced. We even go all the way back to the origin of Deku. The name itself, and who inspired him to have that name. Of course, Uraraka can't be there. She's was literally about to perish if it wasn't for Toga donating her juice to her. So, obviously, just getting the do your best from Uraraka here and the support, it's nice. I'm glad she got a mention. Shoto, I swear we just show Shoto here to kind of just build on the idea that everyone is here, even though he, like, I don't think he does anything this time. He's just shown here screaming. He doesn't even, like, get to say the do your best or anything like that. But still, it's nice to have him here. We even get the very world itself all converging on here. Like, obviously, this is meant to be a stand-in for any nation ever, but still, it's a stand-in for any nation ever. All of them agreeing to just send the heroes now. Go, go, go. And obviously, this half becomes Midoriya. It's just that inspirational. And also because they know the fact that if All For One does not fall here, they're all done anyway. So... that's why the guy's like, I don't care, do it now. So they're all locked in, and we get this whole beautiful sequence of do your best, do your best, do your best, do your best, do your best. From now Masa to the guy who gave Midoriya the shirt he's currently wearing, to Tiger, to the Endeavor fan and his little crew, to Koda, to these people who I don't remember where they're from, but I'm pretty sure I've seen them before, to 2 other people who I don't remember who they're from. But I think... no, that's not the... I forget who these guys are from. From Gran Torino to Eri to... I'm not sure who these people are either. I think that's actually Overhaul. Someone please... if this is Overhaul, please confirm that for me. I don't know. It looks like Overhaul, gosh darn it. But I'm not sure why they'd be watching from prison. But still, even this lady who I don't remember. But still, all these different people are rallying around Midoriya. And that's what this chapter is mainly about. It's the weakness and strength of Izuku Midoriya. It's why it's called Midoriya Izuku or Izuku Midoriya Rising. It's because ultimately, the thing that makes Midoriya different from All Might is that since he was not born with a complete mastery of the power, when he got it, he had to train for it, he had to connect with it, he had to work with others. He wasn't born or started out or was gifted the ability to be the strongest like All Might was. He was forged through battle and conflict and development and growth, he had to lean back on others. He had to connect with people. He had to become a better man through other people. He couldn't simply become the greatest hero all on his own. And thusly, that's his connection to other people, the bonds he's built. All Might never necessarily had that. All Might was the symbol of peace for a reason. He was the greatest hero ever, but All Might was All Might. Someone that was there and helped everybody and saved everybody, but he was never really a person that people could identify with. He was a symbol. That's why everyone was so shocked when the truth was revealed. But with that being the case, Midoriya's always just been a boy. A boy trying his best. A boy working as hard as he could. Pushing past his limits. Fighting as hard as he humanly can. And that ultimately inspired people. It inspired his classmates who came to fight with him. People who aren't even his classmates that have come to fight with him. All the different heroes. It's inspired so many people to follow him and support him. People who even ran away from the battlefield have come back. People who were villains came to the battlefield and fight back. All because Midoriya inspired them. In spite of the fact that their bodies can barely move. In spite of the fact that they've been fighting all day. In spite of every single tragedy and bit of suffering they've undergone throughout just the past, 10 hours, not to talk of the entire build-up to this point. Everyone is here fighting because Midoriya is still there fighting. Midoriya's connections to other people is legitimately a weakness, in the sense that these people can get hurt, and that can bother him, and that can slow him down or hamper him mentally. It's what Togata had to snap him out of way back when he first arrived at the UA building that was floating in the sky when he saw Bakugo with his heart ripped out. But that weakness is ultimately his strength, since he's connected with so many people, since so many people know Izuku Midoriya, from kids to adults to heroes to civilians. Since everyone knows Midoriya as Midoriya Izuku, they're willing to throw their lives for the boy, risk it all for the boy, give their support to the boy who's connected them all. He's, ironically enough, crazy thing, he's kind of like Sora in that way, where the ultimate weakness, that ability to connect with and bond with others, can be Sora's biggest weakness. It's also his biggest strength, all the hearts he's connected to. Just like Midoriya's strength right here, while it's not literal heart power, all that he's connected to is what allows him to become the greatest hero. The greatest hero to All Might, the greatest hero to the world, the greatest hero in history, and the greatest hero even to his mom. It's that willingness to be a boy who cries, a boy who loves, a boy who cares, a boy who wouldn't leave behind a single crying child. It's that boy who managed to inspire everybody and inspire them to take action and inspire people who never thought they could change or never thought they would come back, from heroes to villains to civilians to anyone in between. All of them want him. All of them want him to do his best and to strike back against the monster that dared to consume the entire world. And he manages to charge in with the burning embers of the connections he made, even to the very quirk he was gifted. Through the darkness came a piercing light. You never know he was a hero, because Midoriya Izuku was always just a boy who wanted friends. And ultimately, it's those same friends who opened the path to the punch that could hypothetically save the future. And ultimately, I'm not sure where this will lead. I'm not sure if this is going to lead to another internal battle where he dives in and maybe tackles quirks as a whole. A lot of people, it was with the consistent mention of the quirk singularity as of recent, a lot of people are assuming this will end up leading to a final confrontation between quirks, a full proper explanation of them or something along those lines. Or maybe it'll just be a big old punch that'll knock out All for One and then they have to restrain him or something like that. Or maybe this will once again lead into the inner world and Shigaraki will be brought back to the forefront and a changed Shigaraki will something. Or it's going to be like Midoriya and Shigaraki teaming up against All for One inside the Vestige world, and we're going to get that big battle. Regardless, this chapter is beautiful for that. The culmination of all of Midoriya's connections striking forward. Beautiful. It gave, ironically enough, you know what it gave me? It gave me Cage 3 vibes. It gave me Cage 3 vibes. Honestly, it gave me Avengers Endgame's vibe, where everyone got to contribute in one way, shape, and or form. Everyone is here. Everyone's supporting one boy. One man who could save them all. But I kept pushing it back. And I won't go too deep into this. I'll admit, for what this chapter is, the culmination of Midoriya's journey, anything and everything, top of the line, beautiful character writing, beautiful character work, character wrap-ups, ability display, all that, even some good scaling stuff. Even if it's don't upscale people to All for One, hey, some good scaling stuff in terms of reinforcing some lights, you know what I'm talking about? this chapter's kind of... Here's the thing. It's not poorly drawn at all. Not at all. This is still better than anything I could produce, better than anything many people could produce. Hori is still a monster, a demon, a creature with the pen. But I'll be honest, dog, what is that? That's not gentle. That is Teal Gen. like what is bro? What is bro cooking? What is this? This image of Death Arms is kind of... Heck, the big one for me is this image of Ida. It gets the point across, but where's all of Hori's trademark detail? Where's the finesse? Like, I don't know. Some about this chapter, it just... I'm not sure if Hori was like, look at these images. Melissa, they all look fine. They get the point, but it looks unfinished. It reminds me of... There's another mangaka that I can just review the work of. It's Nakabu Suzuki. He was the current author of Four Knights, wrote Seven Deadly Sins and stuff like that. He works alone. And due to that, and due to the tight time constraints of running a weekly manga, a lot of the time, the art in his chapter just ends up unfinished. It is. It's just verbatim unfinished when it's released week by week. This feels like a Nakabu Suzuki chapter in the sense that some of the art just doesn't look like it's done. Like, this doesn't look complete. This doesn't look complete. This doesn't look complete. This doesn't look complete. Like, it just doesn't have that same level of Hori finesse. Like, this is it. This is regular top-tier Hori art. But... not all this chapter has that. And especially for what is assumedly some of these characters' finer moments, like, this is the last Ida thing we're gonna see, probably. This is the last gentle thing we're gonna see, probably. This is gonna be the last of characters like Mina and Kirishima. And, well, this does look mostly fine. Like, this image right here. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't... It don't be smacking as hard as it should for the culmination. Heck, even Midoriya looks pretty off, like, in a lot of this chapter from image to image. He just doesn't look right. Like, a lot of the images. And, heck, it's not just, like, art quality itself, like, image cluster. Like, this is barely readable. Like, I had to look for a hot minute to see where all for Rocky was. And, honestly, it's a little wag. Like, even here, it's hard to tell what's going on in decent chunks of this chapter. Like, I can barely tell what's transpiring here unless I look at it really, really hard. And, like, I don't even know what's happening here. I guess, like, Black Lightning or something? I don't know. But that's it. That's my only critique with the chapter. Everything else is perfect. It's just, I feel like Hori was a little bit rushed, or maybe his assistants and him couldn't get the chapter done to completion. But a lot of stuff happened in this chapter. I can let the artwork slide. Once again, even this art is better than, like, half, 75% of what all mangaka produce regularly. So it's still peak, but I just want to get that critique out there. It was there, and while I want to glaze this chapter to the moon, and it's still a 10 out of 10 chapter in my opinion, and it's still undeniably worthy, I wanted to get that point across. Because I know Hori's better. That's the thing. Whenever I compare mangaka, I'll typically compare them to themselves in terms of, like, their own art quality. And obviously Hori's the peak standard of what I talk about on a weekly mangaka scale. Like, he's the cream of the crop. So when Hori falls below the cream of the crop, I'm going to mention it. But regardless, overall, still an amazing, amazing W chapter. Up! I want to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that little notification. Whoa! Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1, get them one, that month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the 20-minute live reaction to this very chapter, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Now, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dago the Pencil, writing off. Oh, wait, also, fun fact. Ko-Fi, down below. $5 for a short video, $25 for a long video, or if you just want to donate to your boy one time only. But now, I want to thank you so much for watching. This is Dago the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members. O'Connor Plays, Greyhound, At Kids Void, Astro, Eternal Flame, Red Wolf, 4765, King Sukuna, NMA, Real Rare, Paris Arnold, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 members, Super Gamer Q, Steron, Sean, Sammy, Oexian, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Josh Brown, and A+A. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 member, Autumn Mornings Lazo. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha and Jay Warrior. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 patrons, Joaquin Munoz, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give a final gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.